So is it really men? Because I kind of don't agree with that. I think in general, men want women to be truly the best versions of themselves for the most part. Now, don't get me wrong, there are manipulators in every single group. There are guys that won't think every woman is for them. I can agree with that part, but I think on the whole, especially in these spaces, it's about yo, you can be the best version of you. Since this is a relationship a conversation, I'm going to tell you how I think you could improve yourself for whatever mate you find in the future. And I think men typically come from that place because I would like to think that most men are aware enough to know that no, not every woman is for you. Not no, you can't get just every woman. But at the same time, if I'm on a show and I'm actually a direct communicator, except for here. If I'm on a show and I'm going to give direct advice, or I'm going to say what really is on my mind, I'm just going to say it few in as few words as possible, and I hope you receive the message that I'm giving you. And that's what I hear quite often on a lot of these shows. Now, when or panels or whatever, right? But when the women seem to get unruly and they can't take that direct line of communication, then yeah, I'm gonna throw shots. And I'll use an example like I guess it was about a year and a half ago on a Sunday show. Hank and Ali had a back and forth when he was at one point speaking general. She took it personal, and then it turned into something that shouldn't have been. Whereas that's how men communicate. We communicate very, very directly. If you go back to the Tuesday night show this week, everybody go check out King Talk on Lapeef Network Tuesday nights. Um, there was a gentleman that I had never seen, but there was a gentleman that was on the show who had 18 kids by 14 women, and he went to jail. And like he was once in jail for a few years. They spoke to him directly. And that's the way men communicate. Is no, they didn't want anything from him. Hey, acknowledge, quit trying to make this behavior make it sound okay to yourself. Just accept that you were wrong. That's all we're asking you to do. Accept that you were wrong, and then tell us what you can do going forward in the future. But he reverted a lot to that whole victim mentality, and I see that a lot on female panels. But that's how men communicate. We are direct communicators. We typically say exactly what we mean. No, we don't. That doesn't mean we want to get you in the bed. We're just being straight with you. And I don't think a lot of women can eh, take that very well, especially those that didn't really grow up around men. And we see it play out pretty often, or
So
those that have been that have chosen wrong. Like I'll say that as well. There are some women who have chosen wrong and have had bad experiences and refuse to listen to men. And in those cases, I this is where I think it's on men. Once you've identified that person, give them their space and talk around them instead of trying to talk directly to them because they're not going to hear you until like you see it, Miss Shan. They're not going to hear you until they're ready to hear you. And all you're going to do is go back and forth and make it worse than what it actually should have been originally, which keeps this gender war thing going and going and going and going, even where it bleeds over into the political fear that we're seeing now, where women are trying to are following who I think is actually a pretty great man in Obama, following his words and rhetoric. But that's not a woman's place, and this is the way men think now. It's not your place as a female to tell me how to think politically. Now I'm gonna hear this dude, but as soon as he disrespects me, f him too. And but it all bleeds over into politics, into relationships, into into finance. It's crazy because, like you were saying earlier, mistaken how you find yourself drawn to other shows now from hearing some of these conversations and having some of these conversations. It, and it's not just the black community. It's damn near every community having the same conversations here in America, fighting back and forth with women, from finance to relationships to politics. Is wild, and we as men need to get back to ignoring certain type of women until they're ready, so that mindset is ready, and vice versa for men, ladies. Yo, some men aren't the guys to deliver a message to you. Some guys don't want the best for you, which is why you should also have a tribe to help you decipher through certain things. But I digress. This is why I had a pen and paper and I was writing it down, and then I stopped mistaken. And you see, I just went off on this six
But
minute rant.
it was something that you said that actually stood out for me, which I think is really what is hindering or continuing this whole gender war. It's about the way that we talk to each other. So you specifically said the way men talk, we're direct, and that's the way that we speak, da da da. But you fail to realize that you don't speak to women the same way. And I think that that's part of the problem. I'm not saying not to be honest with women, but delivery matters. Even for men, delivery matters because when women are direct, men take that as being masculine and they take it a certain way. So obviously, the way that a message is delivered and how it's delivered is going to be different, and it should be different. If you're saying that you want me to be in my feminine, then you got to understand how to speak to my feminine. So you can't come at me and speak to me in the same tone, in the same, curt way that you would speak to another male. Y'all understand that for each other. But you, as a man, speaking to me like that is going to create something in me that doesn't sit right. It's not, and then message out the window. So is it more important that, you speak to me so I could come from a place of understanding of what you're saying? Or is it just that you need to get it off your chest? You know what I'm saying? And sometimes in these spaces, it feels like at times that it's more about getting it off your chest instead of it getting in my chest. You know what I'm saying? If it needs to get in my chest in order for me to, that changes I say that y'all want to see in women, it would make a huge difference if the delivery is received. And I know, like, a lot of times we go, oh, it don't matter what you say to a woman, she ain't gonna hear it, da da da. But I notice specific men that will be in these spaces that will say the same thing somebody else is saying, but the delivery is so different that they are more receptive. And the person that comes to mind, Trill. When Trill used to be up here, he used to be direct. He used to be honest, but it was his delivery in the way that he said it. And he kept it straight across the board between men and women. Like, I'm going to call the women out because they be on their stuff, but I'm going to call the men out because they be on their stuff too. And his delivery was very well. Another person, what is his name? I can't think of his name. And I really like him. He was on a Wednesday show sometimes. Damn, I can't remember his name. But he's very like just Jay, right? That's his name.
He is a cool dude.
Yeah.
Just
His
chill.
delivery. He's very fair. He sees things where it is. He calls it out, but it's his delivery. And I think when women try to tell men that, men hear it as you're just trying to deflect, right? Oh, you're trying to deflect. Just listen to the message. But I'm telling you, as a woman, the way that you speak to us, you have to speak to our heart. When men are talking, they speak to each other in their head. So whatever comes out, y'all just okay with it until y'all get in y'all feelings. And somebody call y'all, say something the wrong way, then it can go different. But for a woman, there is a way that you have to speak to us for us to receive it. And when we try to share that with y'all shut that down. Oh, here come the tone police, like that kind of stuff. it is not going to create a safe space for a woman to feel comfortable saying much of anything. Or if she does, she's going to come at you the same way you do. And then y'all say she's being disrespectful and being masculine.